There it is. Boom, 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 boom. There it is.
You're ready to rock and roll. Look, with so many investment options out there, sometimes we got to go back to some of the basics because they're valuable and they still work. What am I talking about? Let's talk about some gold. Let's do this thing. Here we go.
Shut up and sit down.
Is your business in need of customers? Then you found the right show. Hernan Cias is the business bro, and he makes getting customers fun and easy. Watch, listen, and learn as each episode is designed to sell. Welcome to another episode of
Business Bros.
Gents, let's see who we talking to today. Ham, drop the heat, baby.
All right, all you business pros out there, before we jump into the show, just a quick reminder as always to please subscribe on whichever platform it is that you're listening to us on today. Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe, and drop a review. Help other like-minded business owners find value from our awesome guests while we rise up in those podcast rankings. We'll sincerely appreciate every single one of you for it. And if you want to be a guest on the show, we'd love to have you on to learn from you as well. Go to www.businessbros.biz, schedule your time, and don't forget to follow us on all our social medias at Business Bros Pod. All right, everybody, we are so excited and honored to bring yet another incredible guest to the Business Bros Pod. Today's guest might have one of the most interesting areas of expertise in the world because he is an undeniable expert and has a deeper understanding than most of something that's had value since the dawn of civilization. Yep, I'm talking about that yellow stuff a lot of people wear around their fingers, especially right after Valentine's Day. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Our guest has spent more than 25 years of his life dedicated to learning the gold game, and it shows. In his most recent venture, he catapulted a gold mining company from 30 all the way up to $500 million in market capitalization. Tune in to learn from someone who knows the game inside and out better than anyone you know, and learn from a master how the gold market works. Joining us today from Goldplay Mining Inc. out of British Columbia, let's get frisky with Catalin Kilofliski.
Catalin, welcome to the program, my friend. What do you think? I'm sure have you been on a show like this before?
Well, I think it's very unique. You know, you guys are on fire, and I hope I can keep the fire going here through our discussions.
Oh, you definitely will, man. You're talking about a very hot topic. I mean, look, there is so much. One of the most successful commercials in the Super Bowl this year had to be the Coinbase, right? And everybody is so hot on this whole crypto thing that they often forget that like James said, since the dawn of civilization, gold has been a pillar in our community for a lot of different things, including fashion and in finance and in investments and holding it in your portfolio, so many different things. So I'm going to ask you question number one, which is,
why are you doing this?
Because I want to know.
Why? Why did you get into the gold space? What was it about gold that got you going?
Well, it's a very good question, and it's, I think, a very simple answer. As you just pointed to, gold, it's money. Gold has preserved the power of money for thousands of years. There is studies that you can Google them up, but it's one interesting one. If you look at buying a loaf of bread, the amount of gold in terms of grams needed to buy one loaf of bread 2,000 years ago, and today is the same. But what happened to the dollar? What happened to the money? The inflation, it's up on us. Recently inflation in the States is running 7.5%. Everybody in the world, it's seeing it, it's feeling it in their pocket. And gold, in the meantime, has preserved value of money for thousands of years. So, that's really the main reason why gold, in my opinion, it's something people should really pay attention to. It has intrinsic value. You can wear it, as you said. You can buy a piece of gold from your local dealer, bullion dealer, put it in your safe, keep it there. You need cash, go sell it, you get your cash, right? So, don't put all your money, of course, in gold, but they say, experts say you should at least have 10% of your holdings in physical gold, just keep the value there. But there's many ways you can get the gold exposure. Of course, one, it's, you buy the metal, you hold on to it, and then, you eventually give it to your kids or sell it when you need cash. And that's a nice steady value preservation. Is a more cooler way, and of course a way to possibly make more money by being exposed to gold is by investing in gold stocks. And when you talk about investing in gold stocks, maybe not many people are familiar with investing. It's really two ways you can make money in the investment stock, and you can also lose money. Of course, like anything, it's no guarantee, right?
Mhm.
You can buy, companies, stock of companies that produce metal, being, gold, silver, copper, lithium. People, you hear lots of about all those metals that we need every single day to support life. So you can buy, the shares of companies that are producing the metal, and those are very, predictable returns. You can make probably good on your return as the metal goes increase in value. Those stocks have a much higher delta. So what I mean by that, I'll give an example. Yesterday, for example, and 2 days ago, over the last of during the Ukraine crisis, now gold went up by about $50 an ounce. Today it's about roughly 1850 a pound, was roughly about 1800 a few days ago. So it went up by $50, but then the gold exposed stocks, those that are producing gold, the rate of return is a lot higher. $50 in percentage points is maybe, let's say 2.5%, but the gold stocks went up by a factor of maybe 10-15% in the same period of time. So that's the type of play you can do by exposing yourself both in the physical gold metal, which I own myself. I have it in my safe for my daughter, and as a safe haven basically. Also, I'm invested in gold stocks, which means companies established producing gold and extracting the metal from the ground. But the more cooler way, and the way that you can make most money, of course, it's highest risk too. It's exposing yourself in what's called junior mining space. And junior mining space, like Gold Play Company, is one. It's a company that's basically looking to find the next gold discovery. It's trying to put money in the ground to find the gold and eventually break through. And of course, high risk, high reward. In the last venture I've been involved to, it's a company called Tudor Gold. As you mentioned earlier, we were looking for gold basically, and we were drilling and spending money. Market cap of the value of the company was about 25 million. We were lucky enough to have experts around us and expertise, and the gold was there. And we made a major discovery, and the stock ran up 20 times in a period of about a year. And really, that's really the idea about Gold Play Mining now talking. It's the company, you can look up us online. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but really it's the people behind the company, including myself, the chairman of our advisory board. It's a gentleman that created $1 billion in value from a company that was, $10 million several years ago, right? The same thing. And, what Gold Play Mining has, which is unique about our company, it's a team of people that had success in their career. So you want to work with people that know what they're doing, and they've been successful, both from a technical expertise and, of course, from a capital markets expertise, and that's what Gold Play has. And of course, have a project that yields that and has that potential. In Canada, as you probably know, and investors may not be familiar, but hopefully you hear it more and more, it's global warming. Well, how is global warming affecting the gold space? Well, it does. For example, projects that we have been covered with ice for ages. So our geologists, our experts are the first in the world to ever walk on new ground. And those are areas that, have seen, some historical targets results. So you can see a little bit, but every year, new ground during the summer months is being exposed. So those are areas where we've been making major discoveries, and Gold Play holds a portfolio of projects, especially in Canada and British Columbia, that basically is just happening that every single year we are there. We see land that we've never seen before, and we're hoping to make a major discovery. Right?
All right, let's talk about that aspect of it. You called it junior mining, right? And so what is that? What do you do as far as a company is concerned that's different from going out and finding your own mine and setting it all up. So, I guess as simply as you could, if you could explain it to a fifth grader.
What do you do?
Very good question. And, I can give you a very simple answer. Again, a bit of education here. In order for a mine to produce metal, gold, let's use it, right? It took anywhere between 10 and 15 years between the time of, finding the project and producing the metal. To make it even more interesting, only probably about, let's say, 2 to 3% of the projects discovered in the world that may hold metal are actually making it into a mine, right? Because it's not only finding a metal, it's finding enough of it to make money and build a mine, right? So what junior mining refers to is the early stages. It's the stage where you grow from nothing or a prospect to finding something of significant value and proving it up, right? And that's also the reason why people can make, from this called penny stocks, lots of money. Of course, they can also lose lots of money because some don't find it or run out of money. So that's why, again, look at the people. Look at the people behind the company invest. Look at Goldplay board of directors, management. Do they own shares? Did they invest their own money, which we did in our case? Did they have success before? Do they know what they are doing, right? So that's where you do your homework. And this is junior mining because, you are really starting as a junior company. I'll give you another example. Our value of the company today is roughly $7 million. And we have about 2.5 in cash in the bank, and why not? So it's small. We are juniors. Producers, we are talking billions of dollars, right? Let me give you another example. Should we be successful? Once you prove up and you find significant mineralization, the share price increases to reflect that. So you move up the ranks, right, from 7 to 10 to 15 to whatever the case would be as you progress the company, right? So that's why it's the term of junior it's used, because we are juniors. We are early stages of a mining company, and of course, that's when you really want to have exposure into. Myself, I'll give you an example of myself. I won't give any investment advice, but how am I investing my money outside, the regular stock market, and why not? When it comes to mining, I buy physical gold, which are safe. I buy producers, which are safe and predictable, and then I buy, juniors. Maybe I'll buy 4 or 5 juniors to spread the risk. If only one works, it's perfect. You made up your money, because the type of return you can get from junior mining, it's tenfold or more, right? If you pick the right ones. But you have to be patient, especially when you buy a junior. They don't happen overnight. You need to make the investment and kind of give it at least a couple of years to work its way out, right? And because it does take time, it requires a little bit of patience. But that's another way you can make money, by picking the right horses in the race that could be the winners as they grow from a junior miner to a mid-sized miner and eventually a producing company.
So there's a show on Discovery. I think it's Discovery. I'm pretty sure it's Discovery, where they always have people mining gold. There, it's usually a family team out there. They're trying to do some mining. They get a few ounces. They strike gold for a little while, and they just go from spot to spot to spot. I wonder, is that kind of describing a small version of a junior miner? If they find a spot, is this something that grows from there, or is there a lot more strategy and a lot more planning to the geological sites that you're choosing?
Yeah, no, that's called plaster mining, the one you described, and that's really kind of mom and pop operations where basically they do what you've seen in the show. They dig out the ground and they try to extract the gold from the actual dirt, right? That's limited in scope. That's only a small operation. That's those people are doing well, sometimes, but it's not what we are doing. We are looking for the next mine, the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years production for a specific metal, being gold and copper. Actually, gold is also exposed to copper. And copper, it's you need a copper in electrical vehicle. You need it, in everyday's life. So that's not the business of mining, the junior mining. That's called alluvial mining and placer operations. Basically, what we are doing, we are trying to find a project that can become a major mine, right? Something that could sustain production for tens of years, that can create thousands of jobs, that creates economical value. And another thing that's important for investors, for listeners to know, when it comes to Canada and mining, and US, the same thing. We take mining with a very high degree of responsibility. We do it in a very environmental, careful way. Basically, we're often seen as leaders throughout the world, Canadians and US companies, when it comes to mining. So don't do your homework. When you hear mining, you may say, "Oh, dirty," whatever. No, that's not the case. Technology has evolved so much, and we really do everything in the space to a very high degree of corporate governance and community involvement, and sharing resources with the local people, hiring local people, and encouraging the community development areas, which most of the times are remote and there's no jobs and things like that, right? Because mining projects generally, they are not in the cities, they are somewhere remote, somewhere where nobody's ever been. And there's reasons why, because the easy projects, that the one could be easy to find and kind of easy to reach area, have been mined out. Now we have to find the more difficult ones, the ones that are remote, the ones that are in countries that are not necessarily very friendly for mining. And how do you make things work, right? And that's why I think mining actually has been creating lots of community value and lots of value for many countries. And it's something that unfortunately we can get. We need it every day. We're having this show because there's metals in your computers. There is running headsets that have silver and why not for in copper in the wire. So it's something, and it's something we can grow. We cannot grow metals. We have to mine them, and we have to mine them responsibly.
You mentioned that the projects that you're looking for, from just finding a spot to finally making it into production, could be 10 to 15 years in time. And it kind of makes me wonder, I mean, literally when you go to the casino and you win a jackpot, it's like you struck gold, right? Like you hit the big one. What kind of work effort does it take to, I mean, it sounds to me like not only finding the actual geological spot, but then dealing with a country, with an organization, with a civilization of people that may not want you there or may get you there, and then exporting. Like, I mean, what are the odds of getting to the point where you are in production? And is that something that happens on a regular basis, or is it like you're picking projects and then hoping for the one that works out? How does that work?
So it's a very good question. When we are talking about junior mining, let's put it this way: it's really two types of time horizons. One is the discovery stage. From nothing you discover something, right? You make a discovery. And that's where investors can make the most money, because you go from, like, I'll give you an example. Gold play money is 15 cents today. Should we make a discovery? I can predict what the share price would do, but definitely will be a lot higher. That's the stage one. So once you find something, and you basically quantify it, and how you quantify it by drilling and quantifying the metal, then another group comes in, which won't be us. Another group that's just focused on putting things in production. It's buying basically the project, which is good for investors, right? Because they pay a value from no value today to something that has value, right? So it's your return on your money at that point. They take that project, and with their expertise, they go through feasibility study, community engagements, building the plan, negotiating with the governments, cutting deals with the governments, tax advantages, this and that, local workforce. And that takes years, and then produce, right? And that's why, when you invest in producers, yes, you can make money, but nowhere close to the type of money you can make in the junior space, where you go from nothing to a discovery, right? So that's really the difference. So there is various skill sets in the sector. I'll maybe mark it in two camps: the early stage guys, that experts of finding and driving value, and then the experts that are really experts and pros from putting things from a concept into producing metal, right? And it does take time. And the discovery stage, luckily, doesn't take 15 years. It's really 2 to 3 to 5 years at the most, because you either have it or don't. Really, there's not much, And sometimes I can give you example of Tudor Gold. We've actually made a discovery within 1 year, right? It could be one hole, one drill hole. It could make a discovery, right? So the investors don't need to wait 15 years for the early stage exploration investment like gold.
I'm getting a better understanding now. This is why your advisory team, this is why the people on your staff are so important, because you're essentially identifying the right spot and saying, okay, look, of all the places on the globe that we can go, here are a couple places that could be big solutions. Your team goes in, they figure that out, and then they're able to sell off that exact project to that other big boy who's going to come in and then take it all the way through production. So your turnaround time isn't the 10 or 15 years.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Our turnaround time is really, 2 to 3 to 4 years, depending on a number of things. But I gave an example of Tudor Gold was 1 year. Boom, discovery. And that's really the objective of gold play. To be honest with you, we do have a very juicy target in front of us, which is not blind. We've already done some work there, so we know it's gold. And silver. We've got up to 1 kilo silver and in rocks in the ground, so we know it's there. We'll be the first to drill, so make holes in this summer. The plan is to drill this summer, and we have the cash in the bank to fund it. So can we make a discovery this year? That's the plan. No guarantees, but that's the plan. We are geared to hopefully make a discovery, and that's when the share price appreciation happens most, right? And that's why for your homework, I don't want to give you investment advice. Look at Goldplay Mining. Look at the people behind the company. Look at what we've achieved in the past. Look at the type of projects we have. And really, the nice thing about Goldplay Mining is we are located in a mining-friendly jurisdiction, which is Canada, British Columbia, very mining-friendly. It's home to probably one of the largest gold deposits in the world. And also, what we have unique in Goldplay Mining, we are counterbalancing this early stage discovery risk with projects in Portugal. We have a bunch of projects in Portugal, and those are historic mines. Those are mines that produced copper and gold about 30 years ago, and they stopped because metal prices were very low. We're talking about metal prices almost 20 times higher today than they were 20 years ago. And those are projects that already produced, and there's lots of metal that's there. So we also have those projects, right? So we not only have one horse pony show that we're lucky or not. We also have projects that have proven metal and known metal in the ground that we are trying to bring back online in an environment where metal prices are up to 20 times higher than last time they produced, right?
And that's a great business model. I mean, you're mitigating your risk, right? You have projects which you don't know 100% for sure that it's going to be as lucrative as you want. That's the whole objective, right? But then you have other projects that you already know have the metal in there that we're just bringing them back to life. I mean, to me, that makes a lot more sense because you have the best of both worlds. It's like when you invest, you're spreading your investment into different baskets so you can make sure that your investors have a good return. So when you are looking for these projects, when you are putting together your team that goes out and does these discoveries, how many discoveries are you looking at on an annual basis? How many of them, what's that process like to have a discovery even go through to the point where you're like, yes, this is something that's going to work out, or no, it's not?
Yeah, I think it's really, we're talking about two different focuses. One is the British Columbia, where we're going to be basically aiming in making one discovery to start, right? And then in Portugal, we don't really need to discover because it's already there, right? So in Portugal, it's really make a case and a solid technical case of how we're going to start production and what's required to get there, right? So really all it takes in BC for now is making one discovery. And what it means, what do we mean by discovery? Discovery means when you make a hole in the ground and the results come back in terms of metal content in the norms that would see, or it would be similar to a mine, right? There's certain content in the metal that has to be, I won't go too technical into it, but you need a certain quantity of metal per ton of rock. Let's keep it simple. Basically it's rock, 1 ton of rock. I'll give it, and you don't need much. I'll give you an example. Average grade, so average amount of gold for open pit mining, right? In open pit mining, you've heard the term, when you mine open pit, it's roughly 1 gram or less. So 1 gram of gold in
For
the
a
rock,
ton?
1 ton of rock, and people make lots
Wow.
of money still, right? Like,
Yeah.
so it's very little, right? So and that's really what it's quantified when we make the holes. The drill hole is about this diameter, this big, and it could go up to 800 meters, 500 feet, 600 feet, 1,000 feet down in the ground, and then you take it out, you slice it in half, you keep half for as proof, and then the other half gets pulverized and gets in the lab, and then it'll tell you how much metal is there, right? Grams per ton, and then that's your result, right? That's your discovery, and then of course you need to do a lot more drilling to come up with the volume, the amount of metal that will make the mine. The first step is the discovery. Can you prove that on an area that there's no known gold, that you come up with a really good gold intercept, right? And say, wow, because if you hit once, it's gotta be there. Nobody put it there. It's put for billions of years by the matter nature. So and then you keep drilling more, right?
Well, I mean, we've been talking a lot about gold because it's the fanciest one, right? Everybody loves it, but you're doing discovery on multiple things. It's not just gold because, like you mentioned, copper. It's not as valuable as gold, but we use it so much. Everything from how you run plumbing to it's sitting and connecting wires in your cell phone or whatever it is that you're using. Copper is almost just as valuable based on the usage. So when you're doing the drilling, it's not just the gold that you're looking for. You're looking for all metals. You're quantitating every type of metal that's found there, right?
Absolutely. And those projects that I'm talking that we own basically contain both copper, gold, and silver, right? And in those is known, this is we are not. It's already much of what has been done prior to us, so we know it's there. Right now, we need to quantify it through this drill hole. So and copper, for people that don't know, in an electrical vehicle battery, of course, you need lithium, but the largest amount of metal is copper. The amount of volume and quantity of metal you need is copper. So you need a lot of copper, and copper has been probably one of the best performing metal for the last 2 years. And the other thing about mining, and I probably can wrap up whenever you're ready, but it's very dependent on the metal prices, right? Because that's the money we get. So if the prices are low for the metals, it's not profitable to take it from the ground. Like I explained to you, 1 gram of gold in 1 ton of rock. Now you have to have cost to take it out, process it, and sell it, and why not? So you need a certain price, right? So what happened in the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years almost, for most metal, the prices were very low. We went through recessions, we went through this and that. So that means that there were no money available for making new discoveries. There were no investors willing to invest in discovery because metals were so low. Well, remember I told you that it takes about 10 to 15 years from finding it to producing metal. Now everybody wants it, but it takes 10 years to bring it online. So that's the reason why metals are so high today, because the inventory is empty. Nobody interested about the metals for so many years. There were no money available in the sector. Now everybody wants it, but well, we have to find it. We have to build it. We have to, it takes time, right? So that's why it's a great time to pay attention in the mining space now, because everybody wants the metals. Prices are high, so it makes discovery possible, makes production more profitable. So it's a great way to play the cycle, basically, right?
Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned it right there. It's electric vehicles, anything electric. We're moving to almost everything electric, which is going to require those precious metals. If people want to get involved, if they do want to do some inquiries and start learning about what you're doing and the investment opportunities, how can they do that?
Yeah, very easy. Google us Goldplay Mining, and we have goldplaymining.c. That's our website. My personal phone number and email address, it's on the website. Don't, please call me, email me. More than happy to have any discussions with you as it relates to the sector, to gold, to our company. We are trading in US too, so you can buy the shares through any online trading platform. The trading symbol in US is AUCCF. And you can, it's eligible for direct purchases in the US, and we're also, of course, trading in Canada on the Toronto Stock Exchange. And the trading symbol is easy to remember. It's AUC, which AU is the symbol for gold, C it's copper. So AUC in Canada and AUCCF in US. And more than happy to talk to anyone. And of course, while you're at it, sign up to our newsletter. Even if you want to just stay in touch with us, you can do that through our website. Every time we have news, every time something happens with the company, you'll be first to hear directly from us.
And there it is, ladies and gents, money. Like, that's literally where it comes from, right? You got to make sure you secure yourself. Like Catalin was saying, about 10% of your portfolio should probably be in something like a precious metal. No investment advice. I mean, ask your own advisors, but they're going to pretty much tell you the same type of thing. So look, gold is definitely an opportunity. Just metals in general are the opportunity that we need to take advantage of. And like Catalin was saying, look, everybody wants it. Everybody needs it right now. Every big company is just burning through their metal as fast as they can. They need people out there finding this stuff. And if you want to get your money into an investment that's early on, this is an opportunity for you. Do your homework. Reach out, www.goldplaymining.ca, goldplaymining.ca. Catalin, thank you very much for coming on the show. Any last minute thing that maybe I didn't ask you or that you wanted to cover?
No, I think, I was glad to be on your show. And as I said, I'm always available to take questions, and I welcome any interest from anybody. We like you as an investor, we are putting our own money too. Myself and everybody including the company has invested dollars like you are investing possibly. So we have same skin in the game.
That's it, ladies and gents. And I like the song choice, by the way. I get the goosebumps too. Can you imagine investing in a company and then they find some great discoveries? Ooh, I'll get the goosebumps every time myself. All right, ladies and gents, Catalin, thank you very much for coming on the show. Hey, this episode, nothing but gold.
Thanks for watching The Business Bros. If you're ready to get more clients and want to work with The Business Bro, visit our website, www.businessbros.biz, and click on the Need More Customers button, or learn how to generate more referrals with our video testimonial packages. Go to www.businessbros.biz.